going to just remind everyone of a couple things. First off, a reminder about the chat function. I know we have some new counselors who are popping in and out today. I know not everybody could attend the whole event, so I want to make sure that I kind of remind everyone of what's needed in this time. So let's see, I'm going to go back to the beginning and just do a couple reminders because there's getting some questions on the evaluation, but also on the credit form for counselors. For anybody who has joined recently, maybe you missed this. So I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So first off, I want to remind everyone to post any questions you have. Don't lose those. Those are gems. And oftentimes your question is a question someone else has or could be really valuable to helping them and their students. So definitely post your questions in the chat. We've had the Montana two-year colleges and community colleges and tribal colleges present this morning already. So if you have any questions for any of those campuses, or if you have any questions for the four-year campuses that are coming up, feel free to post those now. You're welcome to ask questions individually to campuses or to everyone, and we can have all campuses answer. Speaking of which, we've had one really good question come up for the colleges, and so I'm going to ask all the colleges to post their financial aid deadline. So while we get started, the first few minutes, we'll have the colleges post their financial aid deadline. That's a question that has come to me from counselors. And then there's also, I want to talk a little bit about the evaluation and the credit form. So counselors specifically are asking, and colleges, we'd love you to fill out the evaluation too, is what's the best way to go through the evaluation? If you were here at the beginning of the event, you heard me say that you're best just to go to montanacolleges.com/update, scroll down to the event docs, and there's a link to the evaluation that's online. And it's best just to leave the evaluation up on your phone or your iPad or your desktop, whatever you're using, and just bounce back and forth between the screen and fill it out as you go. That's the easiest way to go. Don't wait till the end of the event, you'll forget. So highly recommend that you just go to this link, scroll down to the event docs section on that page, and there's a link for the evaluation. This is super helpful to us in the end, making sure we keep this event the best we can for you guys. So here's an example of what will pop up as the online form. Again, each campus, it'll ask you a couple questions on what you thought, and you can share some comments. And then there's some general questions at the end too. So take a few minutes to do that. That's a little reminder about the evaluation. The other thing that I'm getting some questions about is the credit lunch refund. So as you all know, I'm really sad we're not eating lunch together. I know breakfast and lunch and breaks are all the fun parts of this event, being in person. But we do want to refund your lunch today if you want. So we've offered that up as an opportunity. You just need to fill out the form. The lunch refund and the OPI renewal unit credit are all wrapped in one form. So you fill it all out in the same place. Again, those links are all on montanacolleges.com/update. You can just click that form. The form looks something like this. You fill out your name. It'll ask you a few questions. One question I'm getting is, if we're attending the counselor update today for the full day, how does the timing work? So how OPI credit works is 1 hour of full training or attendance at the session is considered 1 hour credit, is one full credit. So we don't count breaks and we don't count lunches, but if you attend the full event today, you would be at 4 full training hours, 4 credit hours. So today's, if you attend the whole thing from beginning to end, 9 to 1:30, it would be a total of 4 training credit hours. That makes sense? And then tomorrow, if you attend the whole thing, it'll be a total of 2. So you have a potential of reaching up to 6 if you attend both days. So hopefully that answers your question on that. Again, you have till the end of the week to submit this form if you're attending tomorrow. And then we will send you all the paperwork in the next couple weeks with all of that. So that's the update on credit and lunch refund and evaluation. Hopefully that gets us started. So with that, and now that we kind of get through the housekeeping items, let's move back into our agenda for today. And that brings us to our four-year campuses. And before we get started with the four-year campuses, I wanted to mention a couple quick announcements and reminders. First off, if you're a counselor that isn't attending the whole day today, then again, you would just figure out your credit by the hour that you actually attended the full training time. If you need help with that after today, I'm happy to help you. The other thing I wanted to bring up before we start the four-year campuses is there was actually a question from the colleges to the counselors. So counselors, get your fingers ready because this question is for you guys. A question came forward about high school visits. What can we be doing as colleges to help you with high school visits during this time? That's a question that came forward to me. I know that for all the counselors, when you signed up for this event, we surveyed you on some of your feedback for what you want for high school visits, and I will be sharing that with all the colleges after today, so they will see that feedback. But if you have any other ideas that you would like to share with the colleges today on what works best for high school visits, what can we be doing to better help you? If you post that in the chat, that would be super helpful. So, question to counselors, it's your turn. You have the chat floor. Put in your feedback on how we can help you with high school visits in this time of COVID-19 and restrictions. Again, details I'll be sending to the colleges on what you replied in your registration. All right, with that, it brings us to our four-year public and private campuses in Montana. And this is our last group of colleges today. I just want to remind all the colleges to stay within your 3 minutes, use your cell phone timer. Everybody's been doing a wonderful job like that. So with that, we are going to go over to Helena with Carroll College. And I think we have Elizabeth. Are you out there, Elizabeth?
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Amy?
I'm good. We're even starting to get some sunshine in Missoula. I don't know about you guys, but whoever sent the sun, thank you.
Yep, we've got some blue skies out there, so hopefully a little bit of that snow will melt away a bit. So
awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Elizabeth. It's all yours. You get to kick us off.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Zimmerman. I'm Assistant Director of Admissions here at Carroll College. To start off, I'm really excited to announce that this year Carroll College was awarded West by U.S. News and World Report for the 10th year in a row. We are right now the only college that regional college that has earned this distinction for 10 consecutive years. So we're very, very proud of what we've been able to offer to our students. Couple things that I wanted to touch on, especially with COVID, is one with our test optional for our students. We're really working to make sure that as our students apply, that we give them as much help as possible. So we are in our second year of test optional. Due to COVID, we also have expanded our test optional opportunities for our direct entry nursing, for students that are maybe homeschooling, and also for students whose GPA is at a 2.7 or higher. We dropped our GPA requirement. Students with a 2.7 to a 2.99, we will be asking for an academic letter of recommendation. But those are some things we've done to try and help with the application process. We've also lowered our deposit from $400 to $200, so that's how your students can reserve their spot in the Carroll class of 2020. Now. Oh my goodness. We've also increased our merit awards. So our first year scholarships have gone up by $1,000. So they range from $16,000 to $23,000, guaranteed every year for 4 years. We've also increased our transfer scholarships by $2,000. So those range from $13,000 to $17,000, guaranteed every year for up to 3 years. Some other things that we've made some changes to for our direct entry nursing, we have our priority deadline of November 1st, so just right around the corner, but we are also doing a rolling deadline of March 3rd. Pending capacity, if our seats have not been filled, we will be extending offers for direct entry up until March 3rd. We posted our new programs in the chat, so make sure to check that out. Other things I just want to touch on is that we do have some new additions on our campus. This summer/spring, we did complete $1 million renovation to our E.L. Wiegand Nursing Simulation Lab. brand new space that simulates accurate hospital settings, including a new adult and a new pediatric simulation area, new mannequins. We also have been able to open up this summer our Perkins Call Canine Center, which is attached with our anthrozoology major. It's a pretty popular major, one of our top 5. It's a new space for those interested in canine, either training or social work, or maybe even working in physical therapy using animals. So the Canine Center is a beautiful addition to our campus. We are offering in-person and virtual tours that are live. So if any of your students or even if you counselors wish to get a view of our campus, we would love to share it with you. So please feel free to reach out to me or to anyone. Happy to set that up for you. We're also doing live virtual admission and financial aid meetings and faculty meetings as well. So that's what I have for you, Amy.
Great, thanks, Elizabeth. Awesome. I also want to just make a quick reminder. It looks like you counselors are catching on to this routine, posting in their sign-in when we started this new section. If you didn't catch that screen and missed that reminder, feel free to type in your sign-in really quickly so we know you're here to get us started. All right, so with that, we're going to keep moving on. And next we have Montana State University with Mike. Mike, are you there?
I am here.
Hey.
So
Good
can
to
you hear
see
me
you.
all right? Technology is not my favorite thing, and I'm in a fancy setup for one of our rep rooms. So good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Ort. I'm the new Director of Enrollment Services and Recruitment in the Office of Admissions. I've been in this role for about 3.5 months, and many of you probably knew Rhonda Russell. So our biggest kind of change that's coming our way is that Rhonda retired after 37 years and 40 years in higher ed. Rhonda has decided she's going to hang out on the beach out in Washington, and that's where she's been at for the last month. So she's still checking email, and we're very excited to pick up where she left off because she's obviously put us in a very, very good spot. As a lot of you know, this year has obviously been a super weird year. It's been weird for us as well. But with that being said, there's been a lot of positives this year. You know, one of the big things, our enrollment, even with the pandemic, held pretty strong. We're still over 16,000 students, still brought in about 3,300 new freshmen. We're still rocking 250 academic programs, including the ones I put in the chat for like new financial engineering, environmental engineering. We have a new bachelor's of arts in computer science. So it kind of blends some of the liberal studies and also computer science. So it's a little less math for some of your students. We've also been continuing to build. That's one of the big things. We're building this last fall, we opened a brand new residence hall, Highlight Hall. That is our second new residence hall in the last 5 years. So we added close to 1,000 beds in the last 5 years. We opened Asbjornson Hall, which is a $50 million building that houses our engineering and our honors college now. We are working right now as we speak on a brand new American Indian Hall, and that'll be open next fall. And that's been about 15, 20 years coming. So we're very, very excited for that. Romney Hall, which if you've been on our campus, has been sitting there kind of empty for about a decade. That is also undergoing about a $37 million renovation. So we're really working to enhance our facilities for our students, the resources available, the classroom space, all that is going. One thing for you all to know, as obviously with the MUS, we are test optional both for admissions, but also for scholarships. So please reassure your students if they are going to apply to MSU, they do not need a test score, and that's for their scholarships or for admissions. The upcoming dates, I put them in the chat, but our Premier Scholarship will be, the priority deadline is February 1st, like it has been. Again, they do not need a test score. The application will be available again November 16th. We had a snafu with our system and had to rebuild it. So we're currently doing that. The Presidential Scholarship will be, the deadline is December 4th. So make sure your students are getting that in. And then our housing application is open right now. The priority deadline is March 1st. So sooner is always better, but do make sure your students know we have a spot for them. We have a place for them. But if they want one of their top halls, I'd apply sooner than later. We are hosting campus visits in person and also virtually. So we have some MSU Saturday programs that have been happening. The next 2 are full, and we'll have some more in the spring we'll let you all know about. And then if your students ever have any questions, if you ever have any questions, do not hesitate. Reach out to me directly. We'll make sure to get you all pointed in the right direction. So thanks for being here. And as always, go Cats. 257. Thank you very much, Amy.
You right on the money, Mike. Good work. You guys are all doing great. Way to go. Gosh, this virtual platform, you guys all stay on time. It must be when we're in the social groups, everybody just goes over. No, you guys are doing awesome. All right, well, moving on, we're going to go over to Billings with MSU Billings. I think we have Kristen. Oh,
Hi.
oh, hey, we can hear you. It's all yours,
Excellent.
Kristen. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks so much for having us.
Of course. Thanks for being part of
All
it.
right, so we are here in beautiful Billings, Montana, and a few updates for everyone to share. I'm going to do my best to hit that just under 3-minute mark like Mike just did. A few things about MSU Billings. So Billings, Montana, the largest city in Montana, but our third largest university, which gives us an amazing opportunity for experiential learning. We have over 100 programs offering both 2- and 4-year degrees. We have a wonderful 14-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio, and just also wanted to share our science faculty is continuing to accomplish great things, and we're excited that construction is well underway and we'll be opening the Yellowstone Science and Allied Health Building this coming fall. So looking forward to that. We know that the cost of education can sometimes be a barrier, and so we are striving every day to make higher education affordable for students, and that's something that we pride ourselves on here at MSU Billings. So I wanted to share just a little bit with you about some additional scholarship opportunities your students will have. We are returning with our MSU Billings Excellence, Yellow Jacket Excellence Scholarship, as well as Central and Eastern Montana scholarships. So those are going to be granted to students based on their GPA upon admission if they're graduating from a Montana high school. So we're going to start awarding those very soon. So if you have students that are looking to apply to MSU Billings, please encourage them to apply soon so that we can get them in the pool. They only have to have a 2.75 GPA and up, and we'll be awarding those dollars to them. Also just sharing our scholarship application, as Stephanie mentioned, with City College does open next week, November 1st, and so students can fill out that one application, and then we will help them to be selected for their scholarships, over $1.8 million that we awarded last year, and are excited to continue that tradition. FAFSA, like many of you have said, the priority deadline is December 1st, but we will do that on a rolling basis, so make sure that you're getting those FAFSAs completed and your scholarships so we can help with that affordability piece. Also just wanted to share with you some of our upcoming events. We're very excited to bring our virtual career cafes to you. We've been working with our faculty, career and employment services, and students, along with our new student specialists, and we'll be virtual to bring you all sorts of opportunities on different programs of study that you can do and what those outcomes look like once you graduated with your degree. So those are going to start November 5th and be running on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can join us for those live, or they'll be posted to our website immediately following, so you can always refer back to those. And we are going to bring Virtual Visit Day again on November 6th. So that's coming up, so look for more information for that as well. And then finally, I just wanted to share with you campus visits. We would love to connect with your students. We are offering on-campus visits, a personal one-on-one experience for them in a safe manner. So if they're able to get to Billings, we would love to see them. But if not, if virtual is better, we would love to do that as well. So any way we can connect with you guys is what we would like to do. So thank you for being here. We can't wait to see you in person again. And go Jackets!
Thanks, Kristen. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
I can't hear.
All right. So moving on, you guys are doing a great job. Let's go to Montana State University Northern. I think we have Bo here with us today. Hi, Bo.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. We can hear and see you. It's good to
All
see
right,
you.
perfect. All right, hey, how's it going, everybody? So I'm gonna try to keep this nice, short, sweet, and to the point. Kind of like everybody that out there right now, COVID, it's kind of crazy. So what we're doing here on campus at Northern, just like every other campus out there, we're offering all of our anything virtual, anything that you guys need. Please let us know that we're doing that as an income basis. We'll do group visits, we'll do one-on-one visits, anything that we can do to help you guys out. That's why we're here. All the colleges have mentioned it, and I just want to reiterate that I feel like every college is out there trying to do that for you. We are offering small group tours if students want to do that, if they feel comfortable coming on campus. We're keeping those to 1 student, 2 students max with maybe a parent, trying to keep that real small. Other things that are happening on Northern, so we just finished our Tillman football field, so there are going to be more additions to that coming, but the MSU Northern Lights football team now will have a place on campus to play, so that's pretty exciting. We just updated our sim lab for our nursing students, so that's been a really big bonus for them. They got their own, kind of got their own building going on, so that's going on. Our merit scholarship, I wanted to touch base with that. So that was rolled out last year. We're continuing to do that. So there are scholarships for our Montana students. If you have any questions about that, please follow up with us. Really cool thing that we did get this year, we got renewed on our SSS grant. So that is still there for our students. With that, they're offering all of our tutoring has been transitioned to online, also in person. With COVID, we have to make sure that we're offering all that online system. So all of our tutoring has moved to an online option. Want to follow up financial aid. Our priority financial aid deadline is February 5th. That is also the deadline for our scholarships. So there's still plenty of time. If you have any questions about that, please reach out. We'd love to help you out. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, Amy. If you guys have any questions, please reach out and go Lights.
Thanks, Bo. Good job. All right. Okay, so next on our list, we got Montana Technological University, and we're back with Leslie, I think.
Yeah, hello everyone again. And so again, Leslie Dickerson with Montana Technological University and Highlands College. A few things I want to mention is most of you are probably familiar with Montana Tech in terms of engineering. I want to make sure you know that all of our engineering programs are ABET accredited. That includes our mechanical and civil engineering programs. Those were options under general engineering before, but recently pulled out and were just awarded ABET accreditation this fall. So that's a big deal in engineering. So I want to make sure you know that, as always, Montana Tech offers the highest quality engineering instruction. Want to mention our exercise and health science program. That used to have a different name, but it's this kind of the same program. We changed the name to more accurately reflect what you're learning. So it is a great program for your students who are considering pre-professional type programs. So if you have students who are considering going on, say, to med school or dental school or farm school or any of those, they can choose between chemistry, biology, and also our exercise and health science. It's also a great fit for students interested in PT school, so physical therapy, or even PA. So it's a pretty versatile program. I want to make sure you are aware that the name kind of reflects more of what we're doing in that area. Also want to let you know about our new Scholars Edge program for the nursing students. So this is unique for only nursing students in the state of Montana. So if you have your highest level incoming seniors for next fall, if they're interested in the nursing program, students with a 25 composite ACT and a 3.8 GPA will be invited to participate or apply for this program. So we'll invite them in December. If they apply, then they'll go through an interview process via Zoom, and we will select 10 students that receive this Nursing Scholars Edge distinction, and they will have guaranteed admission into the clinical component of the program a year and a half from now. So as you know, most nursing programs require some competitive steps to get into the actual clinical part of the program. For these 10 Montana students, they will be guaranteed a slot a year and a half from now, as long as they maintain a minimum GPA, and won't have to compete to get into the clinicals. So we're excited about that. Have your students watch out for that invitation, but they have to apply to us first so that we know to invite them. So if you have students interested in nursing, make sure they get those applications into us. As always, I also want to mention computer science, data science, software engineering, and our cybersecurity programs. For those students technologically inclined, we have great options for them. And I will also reiterate, come to campus, send your students to us. And again, that one night's lodging is extended to Montana Tech students as well. So send them our way. We'd love to show them campus.
Thanks, Leslie. Great. All right. You guys are doing great. Let's move on to our next presenter. We go back to Billings with Rocky Mountain College, and I think we have Austin with us today. Austin?
Hi, Amy.
Hey, welcome.
See everybody. Let me set my timer so
Good
I'll
work.
make sure we stick on things. So yeah, good to see everybody. A lot of different things going on here at Rocky Mountain. Specifically, first and foremost, in many people's minds are COVID updates. We are offering in-person visits, and those are offered with safety protocols so we can really tailor that in-person experience still. The institution really focused on making sure that we were still able to deliver our courses in the format that many students choose Rocky Mountain College, and that's for the in-person experience. So 90% of our classes are offered with in-person instruction. Those meet all CDC safety recommendations and are socially distanced. So some of our classrooms are very creative, if you will. So we're utilizing a number of different spaces that we normally haven't on campus. And as many institutions have made this move, we too are test optional. Some of the new programs that are up and going, our new virtual reality lab will open for instruction in January. This will allow a lot of our pre-health students to really engage in virtual A&P and surgical applications, which is kind of interesting. Our new doctorate of medical science will start its first cohort in January as well. And this is really designed for our practicing PAs to provide additional MD credentials for them down the road. Some of the biggest changes here at Rocky Mountain College is our scholarship programs. We have secured a number of different endowments that are new to the institution, one specifically for our Native American students. For many of our Native students, they are able to attend Rocky for full tuition. It's very similar to the state waiver. We have specific additional scholarships for our students from Crow and Northern Cheyenne communities. And then the other one that I'm most excited about, our alumni stepped up in a really big way when the pandemic started to really help our most at-risk students. And so we're excited to really introduce the RMC Promise Scholarship. This scholarship will, in essence, lower tuition to only $2,500 a year for students who are Pell eligible and also meet the qualifications for our Founders, Trustee, and Presidential Merit Scholarships. To qualify for those, really it's just a matter of applying. And these also apply to both our transfer and our new students. So if you have any questions about any of those, I was playing with the chat feature and I put in my contact information, so it was a little premature, I'll repost that. But if there's any questions, feel free to reach out, and we look forward to working with all your students. Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Austin. Great to see you. All right, moving along, we are now going to go over to the University of Montana. I think we're in Missoula with Emily. I think I see Emily. Good to see you.
Good morning from the University of Montana. My name is Emily Ferguson-Stager, and I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admissions. I have some exciting news and updates for you all today. The University of Montana has changed its application process slightly. We now empower students interested in the Davidson Honors College to apply for the DHC within our general application for admissions. Students can either choose to do that at the point of application, or they can follow the links provided as the follow-up emails after application to access the DHC application. Reminder for those who choose to apply prior to the first Friday in December, they will automatically be considered for both the Presidential and Dean's Leadership Scholarships, only offered through the DHC. Safe, Empowered, Accelerated, otherwise known as the Sea Change Initiative, amplifies our commitment to gender equality through a campus culture that places the safety and well-being of students first, while seeking opportunities to empower all women while accelerating their efforts to shape the future through lives of impact. The Sea Change Initiative is pleased to announce that they will be offering a free summer camp this year, that is the summer of 2021, for middle school and high school students. This week-long summer camp addresses gender equity and empowerment, and students will have the opportunity to learn, share perspectives, grow, and have fun. Students will stay on campus for the duration of the summer camp, and their counselors will be the cohort of the 2020-21 Sea Change Initiative. All food and amenities will be provided no cost to the participants. Application and more information will be available on the Sea Change Initiative website beginning in December. In addition, for the spring of 2021, UMC Change Initiative will be hosting its inaugural mentorship program for middle school and high school students. These mentors are the University of Montana students who've completed the Sea Change Initiative. These students have learned and refined how to recognize and assess their own and others' values. They've worked to understand the importance of advancing gender equity and explored strategies for supporting and mentoring future generations to become more aware of their roles in building bright futures for themselves and others. Most importantly, they are a cohort of students who support gender equity and diversity and are committed to inspiring positive change in themselves and others. The mentorship program reflects the See Change Initiative's commitment to community in its efforts to address existing societal barriers while fostering opportunities of support, growth, and acceleration. If you or your colleagues know any student that might be interested in having a mentor, our application will also be on the See Change Initiative website beginning in January. As with many of the other colleges, we are available for in-person or virtual visits. Please let us know how we can meet you and your students' needs. Thank you, and go Grizz!
Thanks so much, Em. Good to see you. All right, you guys are doing wonderful. Moving on, we have the University of Montana Western, and I think we have Chrissy with us today. Chrissy, are you here? Hey.
Yep, I'm here. Hi, guys.
Hi.
All right. So hello, everyone. I'm Chrissy Stokes with the University of Montana Western, which is, of course, located in Dillon. We have about 1,200 students attending Montana Western this year, and we are able to cap all of our classes at 25, with the average class size being 15. Montana Western is still the only four-year public institution in the nation that runs on a block schedule called Experience One, where students focus on one course at a time. With this type of schedule, our students are able to graduate with 2 to 3 years of hands-on experience in their field of study, which gives them an advantage as they enter the workforce or graduate school. Moving on to affordability and scholarships, Montana Western is the most affordable four-year school in the state, with our tuition being less than $5,000 a year. We also have a large number of scholarships to award to Montana students. One of these scholarships is the Chancellor's Leadership Scholarship Award, which is awarded to 5 new incoming freshmen from Montana each year. These are full tuition scholarships that can be retained for 4 years. Usually we look for a minimum GPA of 3.6 and a 26 ACT or a 1260 SAT. However, since we are test optional for the fall 2021 semester, students just have to meet the GPA requirement to be considered this year. Montana Western scholarship application will open on November 1st, and students just need to complete one online scholarship application by January 15th to be considered for all of our university scholarships. We have also removed the application fee for Montana residents, so they no longer have to pay $30 to apply. All of our degree options are listed in the guidebook, but I just want to highlight a few of them. So our top 3 degrees at Montana Western are education, business, and health and human performance. We have the best education program in the state, offering degrees in early childhood, elementary, and secondary education. And in our business administration department, we are offering 2 new minors. One of them is farm and ranch operations, and the other in outdoor guide and wildlife outfitters enterprise management. Our health and human performance department includes degrees in kinesiology and physical education and health. We also have a health and human performance lab on our campus where our students are able to gather their own data for research projects in that area of study. We also have a few unique degrees that I want to highlight quickly. So we have natural horsemanship and glass, which is scientific glass blowing. As a lot of the other schools, we are hosting virtual and on-campus visits right now if students want to learn more about Montana Western. And we're also hosting a few virtual open houses in the next few months, with our first one being on Thursday, October 29th. During these open houses, students will actually have a chance to win a $500 scholarship. So let your students know about that. Thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Great, thanks, Chrissy. Did you guys get lots of snow down in Dillon?
We got some, but it's starting to warm up and it's kind of starting to leave, which I'm okay with. So yeah, it's not time for that yet.
Good. Whoever has sun around the state is passing it along because we're warming up. Hope everyone else is too. Awesome. Thanks so much, Chrissy. All right. Well, that brings us to our last four-year campus, and it's the University of Providence. So we're going to go up to Great Falls, and I think we have Caitlin with us today. Hi, Caitlin.
Yep, I'm here. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you. It's all yours.
All right. I'll start my timer. So my name's Caitlin Marsick, and I'm the Director of Admissions and Recruitment at the University of Providence. UP is a private four-year Catholic university located in Great Falls, Montana. We serve roughly 1,000 students with a 12-to-1 student-faculty ratio, and approximately 30 academic programs to really prepare you for a variety of career paths. So our mission is to provide students with the opportunity to obtain a liberal education for living and making a living. One thing that kind of sets us apart is our small class sizes, along with our unique partnership with the Providence St. Joseph Health, really offer students the opportunity to receive a quality education with a direct connection to the healthcare industry. Some of our top programs are business, paralegal and legal studies, nursing, and biology. In fact, our paralegal and legal studies program has a nearly 100% success rate for students getting into law school and was voted the top 13 in the nation and best in the state. And also a lot of our biology students go onto a path in the medical field just with our direct connection with the Providence St. Joseph Health. Our classes cap at 25 students, so make sure they get enrolled and registered as quickly as possible. So first steps would just be inquiring about being an interested student, and then from there our counselors really reach out and help support all of our students through that process. Some of the required documents are the high school transcripts and then the immunization records, but us too are a test optional school and just use those for placement. We have 17 academic programs and a vast number of clubs that allow you to get connected and really try new things across campus. So some of our clubs include Disability Awareness Club, Forensic Club, Photography Club, and a variety of others. Now you can also get involved in organizations such as student government. As a freshman student coming onto campus, you'll be living in Emily Hall with one roommate and then move on to more of an apartment style for your sophomore year. Some of our important dates to remember is October 1 was starting our FAFSA applications with the deadline priority of December 1. And then March 1st is our priority deadline for endowed scholarship applications. And just like most other colleges and universities that we've heard from today, we're also doing virtual visits alongside of campus visits. So whatever anyone's needs are, what they're comfortable with is what we're trying to suit in these wild times. For fall, we were closed to campus. We just did everything virtually, but the plan is to open for spring in hopes that COVID cooperates with us all. Thanks, Amy.
Awesome. Thanks, Caitlin. Appreciate you being here. And thanks for wrapping up the 4-year campuses across Montana. Great job, everyone. Round of applause. I see other people clapping too. Well, and I see some thumbs up and some high fives. Good job, everybody. Wow, every year I am just so impressed and proud of what we offer in the state of Montana for our students. And every year this session, I've done this for 16 years. Every year I learn something new, and I'm just so honored to be a part of this. So great job to all the presenters. You guys stayed on time, and I couldn't have even planned us to be on schedule like this. So great job to everybody. A big round of applause to every presenter. If you want to unmute and round of applause, I'd love it to be more than just me clapping. Awesome. Well, you guys did a great job. So what I want to do before we cut out for this part of today's sessions is I want to take some time to allow for some question and answer, not just in the chat, but for counselors, for you guys to have a voice in this group, because you're a big part of this, and I don't want you to just be in the chat. But let's take a few minutes, and I'm going to open it up to questions from either the presenters or the colleges, but also any agencies who are here, but then also counselors. What questions came to mind? Is there questions you have for multiple colleges? I'd like you guys to have the floor for a minute, so I'm going to open it up. Don't be shy. But anybody have any questions you'd like to ask? Feel free to just unmute yourself and pop in and ask. Any questions? Well, while we're waiting for somebody to get courageous and bold and ask their question, I have a question, because for me, every year I have a handful of things that really stand out as what I take from this counselor update. And I'm sure you all have the same. I would love for you guys to share in the chat what stands out as 1 or 2 top things that stood out from all these presentations as what's new in the state or what you need to know about. I'd love to have us all share what's as the highlights you took from today morning presentations thus far. We can learn and share from each other. who is now only virtual and who is in person. I think we had Joe. Joe, are you asking a question? Joe Jasip? I see who is now only virtual and who is in person to the colleges. Is that what you're asking, Joe? I don't know if he can hear me, but I see his post.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Joe, good to see you.
Yeah, which colleges are doing only virtual classes and which colleges are doing in-person or maybe a combination or blended?
Great. Why don't we've got some time, so I'd love to feel free, you can post it in the chat if you want, or if you would just speak up and just say, that would be probably best at this point. So let's go around to the colleges. You guys can just jump in and share. What are you doing? A hybrid, virtual only, in class?
So MSU Northern, we are hybrid. So we are on campus, but if students have COVID or need to get quarantined or don't feel comfortable going to any lectures, we are offering all of those via WebEx, Zoom, or some other platform. So yeah, we are hybrid model.
Thanks, Bo. Who else?
College. Salish Community College is also going hybrid as of right now. We are offering our class list is color coordinated, so you can actually pick your classes based on if you would like to try to attend in-person classes or fully virtual classes. And that will continue for our winter quarter, which starts in January.
Great.
MSU is the same. We're offering blended modality basically. So some of our, especially some of our first and second year courses are, we try to focus on the first and second year students and keeping those in person, just with how the spring went for those students and trying to look at retention. But we also offer a blended model where some classes might be, you know, part of the week they're in person and then part of the week they're online. But we're increasing the number of in-person classes we'll be offering for this spring. Over 50% will be offered in person.
Awesome.
Montana Tech and Highlands College, we're almost all face-to-face. We do have some online options, and but of course, if somebody ends up in a quarantine situation, you know, we can accommodate that. But for the most part, we're face-to-face with a few online opportunities.
Yep, college is primarily in person as well, and we are set up to go virtual or hybrid if needed.
Great Falls College is the same, hybrid options, in-person, online, and accommodating for COVID.
Same like Montana Western.
Sounds like a lot are pretty much kind of hybrid. Anybody, I think I saw University of Providence is primarily virtual this fall. Is there anybody else who's doing not a hybrid, but just one or the other? Caitlin, was that right with University of Providence? I think I saw you post that.
Yep, for fall, we're just virtual, and then spring, the plan is to open back up, and then, of course,
great,
depending on what COVID does.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Anybody else not doing a hybrid model? Great, and I think I saw the ones that didn't speak. I think most of you posted in the chat, so take a look there. There's also some really good fun highlights. Morgan says, I love this event because I'm always so proud of the work we are all collectively doing to support our students. I love getting to see everyone. Flathead Valley Community College is blended with a collection of in-person remote. I think I saw also a post that love hearing about the partnerships of everybody working together across the state. Some free tuitions were noticed, a couple other things, but yeah, take a look at what people are posting. There's some really great things in here. I'm seeing Carol say, and feel free, Carol, if you want to jump in and clarify this, but she says, my students are very nervous because of the ACT testing situation. It was good to hear that so many colleges are test optional. Does anybody want to elaborate on it? Or Carol, do you want to elaborate at all on what you mean by that, or if there's anything you want to?
Okay, I'll be brave. Can you hear me?
Good job, of course. We can hear you.
Well, you know, the spring testing was canceled for all the high school students, the juniors last year that are now incoming seniors. And then we had to do a makeup ACT on October 6th and October 20th. And a lot of students were in quarantine or couldn't make it. So, and then a lot of the testing sites are now closed down because of the, so they've just been very nervous about getting their test in before the December 1 priority deadline. So they're happy that a lot of the colleges are waiving that for a while. Okay, that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. Do any of the colleges want to mention or touch on that? Share any updates or further thoughts around that to give counselors, I don't know, solace or feedback they can share with students on that?
Yeah, I did. One of the questions was whether or not the schools were going test optional just for COVID or if it was going to be extended longer. Great Falls College has always been ACT, SAT used strictly for placement, not required.
Awesome. So that's a great point. Thank you for catching that. There's so many questions and comments. It's exciting. I'm not catching them all. So if I miss a question or comment, either if you see it, like Laramie, announce it, or if you post it and I miss it, feel free to jump in and announce it too. How about let's go around the room. You can post in the chat. Colleges, if you'll answer that question, are you going test optional forever or just during COVID? You can either jump in and say it or post it in the chat.
So Amy, I'll add that directive came from OCHI. So I think we are all of us in the under the jurisdiction of OCHI will be doing what they direct us. So we are all now test optional. I think it's very possible that will remain beyond fall of 21. And of course I see nodding heads, so jump in, but we're kind of at the mercy of what OCHI tells us.
Absolutely. And I think we had Angela King from MUS on, and I don't know, Angela, not to put you on the spot if you're still here, but are you out there, Angela? I know you were here at one point.
Hi, Amy. I was trying to hide, but yes, you found me.
Well, and don't worry, you don't have to answer this if this is not in your jurisdiction, but being that you're on the call, do you have any clarification or further details from MUS? And obviously that only stands really for the MUS schools. So any non-MUS schools will come back and let you would also share your feedback. But how about from Angela from MUS? What are your 2 cents?
I have not heard a one way or the other a definitive answer, but I know that it is being discussed to make sure that everybody has access. From working with Gear Up and ETS schools, we have heard loud and clear. So I just want to make sure every counselor out there knows that we totally empathize with your students' struggle with testing and that anxiety that's causing. So I will make sure to pass along that word to people that are much higher up than I am. And if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll be happy to pass those along as well, advocate on your behalf. So
awesome. Thanks,
Thanks,
Angela.
Amy.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
That's
I know
okay.
I'll get back to you later, but I just thought you were here. I thought I'd check in with you, see if you had any updates. So let's go to any of the non-MUS schools. You have any updates on your testing policy going forward?
We're always test optional, and same for some of our scholarships.
Awesome. Thanks, Morgan.
Yeah, Rocky's test optional for both admission and scholarship consideration. That'll be assessed as we move forward, whether that remains so or not. We'll keep you posted on that. But for this current, at least the next 2 application years will be test optional.
For Carroll College, we've been test optional since last year. We will continue on as test optional. We did make some accommodations. I did post it in the chat for our direct entry nursing for students that are homeschooled and for students at a certain GPA. Prior to COVID, we were test optional for students with an unweighted academic GPA of a 3.0 and higher. This year, like I mentioned, we did lower it to 2.70. We're going to reevaluate those accommodations made because of COVID at the end of this cycle to see what we will be doing for fall 2022. But some of those may revert back for fall 2022.
Great.
And our scholarships are test optional as well. We do have provisions for if students do want to submit a test, they can see if it could increase their merit scholarship, but we have same options available for test optional students.
Great. Thanks, Elizabeth. And thanks for touching on that. I did see that was kind of a follow-up question that was asked, was from Elizabeth is, will test scores be required for scholarships? So anybody want to clarify if they need the test scores for scholarships?
So for at Northern, most of our scholarships are test optional. We do have a few that do require a test, the test score. So if you have any questions about that, that's a little more question for our financial aid office. But if you do have that question, please feel free to contact me and I can help you get in touch with you.
Great. Well, feel free, again, it looks like we're getting lots of posts in the chat too. I did see a question pop up saying, can we share these answers to these questions? Don't worry, I'm gonna compile this report of all the questions asked and share it afterwards, and also try and get any questions that don't get answered afterwards as well. So if we miss your question also, don't worry, I'm gonna still try and get it answered after today's events. But there was also a good question, switching topics, if you still have colleges, if you're still answering questions about test optional and scholarships, feel free to put that in the chat. Counselors, feel free to take a look at the chat responses. We're going to switch to a kind of a new genre that is a question asked about who's doing dual enrolled enrollment for high school students, and any information you have on dual enrollment. So that came from Nathan. So Nathan, if you want to elaborate, feel free to jump in. But if not, I open it up to the colleges to share any updates on their dual enrollment program.
I guess because we've only had a couple schools do it, so we pair through at BCC.
Oh, I think we lost you maybe, Nathan. Oh, we kind of lost you cutting out, I think. We can see you, but I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear us either. Oh, maybe try Matt back on mute and unmute, maybe? Sorry, Nathan. We lost you voice-wise. I can see you, though. I don't know if maybe we lost your connection. Why don't we come back to you in a minute? But while you're trying to reconnect, it sounds like he was saying that he's only had a handful of schools actually work with their students on dual enrollment programs. So if we want to just go around the room, you don't all have to answer, or you can post in the chat if you would prefer, but maybe share some updates on your dual enrollment process. Sorry, Nathan. And he says, who else in the state has dual enrollment, is what he's saying. That's what he posted. Any colleges want to jump in?
Northern, we offer dual enrollment. Please don't ask me what classes because I have no idea. So I did put my email in the chat, so please email me and I can forward all those questions along to our dual enrollment coordinator, and she's awesome and will work with you.
Hey Nathan, at VCC, obviously we work together. We do concurrent enrollment and dual enrollment. With having more classes online, we have more students taking advantage of those online opportunities. So we have students across the state participating. And I do want to say, if you, depending on when your high school is graduating, any of your early grads, they may be able to take advantage of our Running Start tuition rate for the spring. So it's a really great opportunity for them to go full-time potentially as a student, but at a really discounted rate. So we're hosting sessions for early grads if they have questions this week.
Great. Anybody else want to mention? It looks like a lot of you already posted in the chat what your response was. Anybody else want to mention what their response was if you didn't get it in the chat? Looks like we got a lot in the chat. So Nathan, take a look at the chat. And again, I'll send a copy out, but I know we can't hear you, Nathan, but did that answer your question? I can see you. Hopefully you can hear us and we got what you wanted. If not, let us know. All right, it looks like we have another question from Kara that says, can we get a list of schools that offer DE and their DE websites? So if you didn't post your dual enrollment websites, looks like we did already post quite a few of the dual enrollment who offers what. Feel free to put your website for dual enrollment in the chat as well if you haven't done that. With that, I think we're getting most of the questions. I think the last question I noticed that I'd like to just bring up, it goes back to kind of Angela at MUS, was MUS Honor Scholarship will it require test scores this year? Angela, do you know that?
I saw that too, Amy, and I didn't know if that was a type to MSU's Honors College or over to us. So
Sally,
if,
are you on that you could clarify? Are you talking MUS or MSU or both?
I'm talking about the MUS Honors Scholarship.
Thanks, Sally.
Yeah, thank you.
Hear your voice.
let me do a quick check for you, Sally, and I will privately, I'll post it back to everybody so everybody has that info. Just a sec.
Well, and Angela, you're going to be with us in the afternoon sharing some updates too, so we could hear from you then too. Thanks for checking on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I am not going to keep you guys any longer because we're going to take a break. We do have some incredible presentations this afternoon and major announcements that you're not going to want to miss on financial aid, on, the Montana University system, Office of Public Instruction, Gear Up, College Application Week, College Financial Aid Week, Retire Montana, Montana Youth Apprenticeship Program, so many, I can't name them all, but you want to hang around for that. So you want to get some good lunch somewhere. And like I said, we are happy to reimburse you for your lunch today. I wish we could be with you in person, but at least have a good lunch wherever you are, and we'll come back and reconnect. We're going to take a half an hour break. And let's come back and have everybody connect at 12:10, and we'll get started at 12:15 to kick off this last part of the day. With that, you guys have been awesome. A big, big thank you to all the colleges. I know many of them won't be able to be part of this next afternoon session, so post any of your final questions to the colleges here. I know some are going to stay on, but not all. So post any final questions you have for the colleges, and they will try and get those answered for you. And any that got missed, I'll send out and try and get them answered after today as well. So a big round of applause to the great presenters. You guys did a great job, Montana colleges. So proud to team with you. Always a pleasure to have you part of this. Thanks for taking the journey. For those of you who are going to lunch and coming back, we'll see you at 12:10. Otherwise, big thanks to everyone for all your team efforts. You've done a great job this morning. We'll see you after lunch. Go enjoy a good lunch. See you guys.